Hello, thank you once again for staying tuned to my channel, where I do my best to simplify the practice of quantity surveying. You're welcome to another episode where I shall be guiding us on how to determine if site production cost is within budget. And basically, there are three steps to follow, which, as you can see on my screen, there are three steps to follow for you to have an accurate result. And one of the first step is you must have a baseline, which can also be referred as a budget, which means you have to prepare a budget that you can always reference to in comparison to whatever thing you are doing. And this budget, usually budget have the component of labor, material, equipment, and overhead. So, uh, so you prepare. It is the the composition of these four items that you sum together that will give you what the cost of your budget will be, including the overhead. Then the next item, which is real-time tracking and monitoring. During the construction phase, you have to ensure that you keep your data, you keep your data properly, and also uh, ensure that these data are accurate. And this data has to be categorized in the same manner you have done your budgeting, which is also labor, material, equipment, and overhead. So you have to keep it in the same manner. Then uh, you will now monitor by now comparing the actual cost expense that you have incurred uh, in the process of doing that job. Then you now compare it with what the actual price, your budgeted price is. Then the last item on the list is uh, you now uh, you now analyze your performance, and you now use that analysis to forecast what will be. And this analysis is basically you check if there are variance between the actual and the budgeted, and if it is a negative variance, and you trace back to see if there are errors in your analysis, and you can't find any, which it is an obvious error that you cannot shy away from. The next thing is to now use what your computation is in the actual to now forecast what the remaining job that will be. And if it is a positive variance, which means you are in order, what you needed to do is just to keep it up to ensure that you don't go beyond the budget. For the purpose of this illustration, we know construction items are much, but we are going to be using concrete element to for this illustration, because it will be good that after the theoretical the theoretical explanation of what you needed to do, we needed to uh, go practical so that we can now see how it actually works. Uh, like I said, I'm going to be using concrete, but before I proceed, I want to ask if this is your first time of coming across my videos. You're welcome to my page, and I bet you this: if you visit my page, there are a lot of important clips that will help you build your choosing career in the built industry. Also, and if you've been watching me for some time now and you are yet to hit the subscription button, please don't go through this video without you hitting the subscription button. And also don't forget to keep your notification button on for subsequent editions. Having said that, uh, let's go directly to the analysis. As you can see on my screen, The first item we said there has to be budget, which is your baseline. And as you can see on green here, this is budgeted cost. And we did said that your budget has to have the component of material, equipment, and labor. As you can see on the item here is we have a item here. This is the amount. We have the total amount for material is 104,262 naira 21 kobo, and this material is a composition of labor, a composition of cement, sand. Since we are dealing with concrete, cement, sand, and aggregate, and I will take us to where the breakdown for this 100 and how we came about the 104,000. Firstly, I want to draw our attention to the first consideration I need, because it is a 3-month project and I have targeted that I needed to cast in my planning that I am going to produce, or I am going to place a 2,080 cubic meter in a month. So I now ensure that the batching plant I was going to rent or I was going to install on site has the capacity to give me such volume of concrete. So the capacity of my batching plant is 100 cubic meter. But because of the unforeseen that might come my way during the course of construction, I did not take the maximum. I took 80 cubic meters, saying give and take. Maybe the batching plant breakdown, or there are some stoppage, there is rainfall and all of that. So I made sure I didn't take the maximum. I took in between. So I have a buffer of 20 cubic meter. So, and like I said, I now multiply the 80 cubic meter, which I multiply by the 80 cubic meter by 26 by 8 hours. No, this per day, I multiplied it by 26 days in a month, excluding 4 Sundays, then multiply by 3 months, because my concrete production, I had planned it for 3 months. And I had planned that I'm going to achieve a 2,080 cubic meter for first, second, and the third month. So I now multiply it by 26 by 3 to give me a total cubic meter of 6,240 in that 3 months. So now I extracted all the equipment relating to concrete, from my preliminaries, and computed what the cost would be in 3 months. It gave me 93,984,267 naira. Then I now divided the 93 million by the total volume of my concrete that I'll cast in that 3 months. So I now arrive at the cost of equipment to be 15,061 naira 58 kobo per cubic meter, which I now brought here. I'm going to take us for us to see how I arrive at the 93 million. These are the equipment and the operators that will operate the equipment for concrete alone. The indirect staffs, we have the operator of concrete pump. Operator of concrete pump, I think I repeated it twice here, so I can take this one out. Operator of concrete pump. Then, so let me even take this one as the helper. That is the mate for the concrete pump operator. So that it will still remain what it is. So that it remains what it is, so that I don't distort my what I had already planned. So I have the Then I have the concrete pump operator. I have the batching plant team, which is a team of 4 persons that will help the batching plant operator in his activities within the batching plant. Then I have truck mixer operator, which I had made provision for 3 trucks that will convey the concrete from the batching plant to the site. If the site is far, if it's not, you are not using crane. So these are just hypothetical figures. So if it's a crane that you have, if it is your batching plant is placed on site where the boom of the crane can reach and take the concrete to that place. So you don't need the concrete pump, you don't need a truck mixer. But if it is, you are now trucking the concrete from somewhere to the site, that is where you need the truck mixer. Then you have the lab technician that his duty is to take sample of concrete to now test to check the strength and the cement water ratio. Then you have the batching plant operator that I made provision for 2 because you have need plans for the concrete you want to achieve. So you must have a standby operator should in case one fell sick or either had reason not to come to work. So I made provisions for 2. So this is the total cost of like I did said that the concrete plan is for 3 months. So you see the 3 months, and these are this is the total fuel consumption for the total fuel consumption for your. I made provision for a 250 kVA generator as that dedicated for the batching plant. Then I have the mobile truck mobile truck 3, and the capacity of the mobile truck is 8 cubic meter that it can truck per time. Then you have the batching plant of 12 cubic meter per hour. Then I now have the concrete pump that will pump it if in case the batching plant, the concrete pump or the concrete mixer cannot get to the exact location where I needed to place the concrete. I needed the aid of pump to take it to that location. So then I have, of course, you're going to fuel those movable trucks and all of that, the generator and the concrete pump and that of the mixer. These are the total liters they will need for that 3 months, and the cost of the diesel is 1,100 naira per liter. So the total cost for that 3 months for the equipment meant for the concrete is 93 million. So it is that 93 million that that we saw here that was divided with the total volume of concrete that will be casted in that 3 months to give me this 15,000 per cubic meter. So like I did said, the concrete, the cost of material, like I told us, where the total cubic meter for the 3 months is 6,240 cubic meter. Then I now compute the material. These are the ratio for cement, sand, and granite per cubic meter. So, and this is the total cubic meter that I will be casting in that 3 months. I now multiply each of the ratio by 6,000. It gave me what is the volume of sand for the 3 months for the 6,240. So I now transfer this volume of material up here, then now apply the unit rate per ton for sand, granite, and cement and additive. So it gave me the total cost of 650,596 naira, 650,596,208 naira 52 kobo. So I now divided this 650 million by 6,240 cubic. Then I came to 104,000 for material, which you see in here. Then, of course, I assume the cost for placing of the concrete on site is 5,000. So the cost of my material and equipment is 124,323 naira 96 79 kobo. Then the proportional cost, which is of course the overheads and then the profit. I now have a sheet where I broke down the proportional costs, where we have the company overhead, the client administration fee, design fee, deferred liability, depending on what it is not exhaustive here. Insurance, bond, contingency, technical risk, contingency method, then withholding tax, which now the overhead now came to 25.5%. Why my expected profit is 8.5. So the total of overhead and profit is 34%. So, and that is what you see here. If you sum the proportional cost and my profit, you see, and the profit, you are now going to have 34%, which you saw there. Then the general indirect, aside the equipment that are meant for the concrete, you have personnel that are for general service. The offices are general service, the toilet, general service, the printers and all of that. So what I now did is to now come to this place. I now said, this is my general prelims, which serve for all the job that will be done within that month, because this is concrete. We're taking out concrete, but in on a project, it is not just concrete. You have other items that will go alongside with it. You have the formwork, you have the reinforcement, you have all the block works and all of that. So the managerial staffs, the other site staffs, they are all servicing those jobs that will be carried out for the whole of that month. So now, and there are like the security guide, you don't have a place, you can't place it to say concrete alone. It is serving the purpose, the general purpose for that site. So whatever activity that will be done on that site in that month, it has the security has its own fair share and all of that. So now what I now did was to now compute the cost of my prelims for 3 months, which now you can see I divided it into managerial staff, where you have the project manager, quantity surveyor, site engineer, logistic, chief QS, chief land survey, QSE. Then you have the cost controller, the cashier, the purchasing officer, the IT officer. Then down here you have the office staffs, the timekeeper, storekeepers, assistant timekeeper, cleaner, assistant purchasing. You have the security, day watch and night watch. You now have technical, you have the assistant surveyor, you have operator and you have the services, which is the plumber, electrician, mechanic, welder, and scaffolding crew. Then you have other plants that are for general services, which are not meant for one particular item on site. Like you have the site clinic, you have the client office and meeting room, you have the staff offices and the toilet. All I made this thing there. So the total amount came to, that is for the 3 months, it came to 313 million. So I now further came to this place. I now said, so the 313 million, I now said the 313 million, which is this. Then I now said for the direct works, which has to do with both carpentry work, reinforcement work, I assume this figure, the other jobs that were carried out within the site, aside the concrete, the total amount for that 3 months will be about 1.8 billion. So, and this is the corresponding preliminaries for that 1.8 billion. So I now divided the 300 million by I divided the 300 million by the 1.8 billion. it now gave me 17%. That is the total direct works that will be carried out, that this 317 million prelims will be servicing. So it gave me 17%. So I now brought it up here, then multiply it by the cost of my material to now give me the total amount for my proportional cost to be 63,924 naira 74 kobo. So if you add it together with your material, you'll be having my budget cost as 188,248 naira 0.53 kobo, which is my budgeted cost. So having done I have shown us how I came about my budget. So now let's now go to my production cost. So my production cost is I assume that in 1 month, rather than I did not meet my target in terms of concrete production. So rather than producing 2,080 cubic meter, I was able to produce 1,508 cubic meter. And what is the corresponding preliminaries for that single month that I have worked? So I come to this place. I took out these are the preliminaries, which was 93 million, but I made advancement. That is, I released progress of month 1, which it gave me 31,328,089 kobo that I now brought forward here, then divided it by the total concrete I produced. I now came up the total cost for my equipment for my first month of production is 20,774 naira 59 kobo. So automatically my budget cost of equipment is 15,000, but now I am already running at a loss in equipment because I couldn't meet my production target. So I now have already a shortfall of almost 5,000 naira short. So now, of course, the labor will remain the same, and cost of material has not changed in the market. That can be, even though if it changes, I can recoup my money via, if it's a fluctuated contract, I can recoup my money. So these are the volume of material that I require for a 1,508 cubic meter, which is this. Then I brought it forward here, and I now apply the unit rates for granite, cement, and that it gave me 157,227,114 naira, 17 naira 6 kobo. So I divided it by this the total volume I casted for the month. It gave me 104,000 naira, which you're seeing here. And of course, I've shown us how I came about the equipment, and the labor is constant because it doesn't change. So my total cost for material is 130,000 as against 124,000, which means already it has indicated that I am on the red. I'm already losing our amount. Then I now came to the prelims of cost. The proportional cost remains the same. The profit remained the same. Excuse me. Then the percentage of the other general preliminaries, I now went further to take advanced progress for 1 month from that 313 million, which was for the 3 months. I now advanced progress for, say, the calendar is January, February, and March. So I advanced progress in January for all the items. So the amount came to 121 million. And the 121 million is what I brought here. And the total, my total assumed work that I have done for that 1 month, other jobs that I've done for that 1 month that would share the general prelims with that I've done, including concrete, form work, reinforcement, block work, you name it, whatever item that is within the scope of that job. So I have done the job of 800,000. So I now divided it by the preliminaries. I now have a 15%, meaning that I did well. I did well in the preliminaries. My budgeted preliminary is 17% for general preliminaries, while here I'm doing a 15%. So the total cost for my preliminaries for production is 64,000, while here is 63,000. So if you sum total it, I am still good in my overhead and profits, but for material I am bad. That's why I have a 130, a 124. So I am already doing analysis to see what has gone wrong, where have I got it wrong. So by the time you sum the 264 and 130, I'll be coming to 190, 194,000 per cubic meter, as against my budgeted of 188,000 per cubic meter. 188 per cubic meter, meaning I am checking for variance, which is my variance now is I'm having a negative of 5,802, 805 naira 56 kobo negative, meaning that I'm not doing well. I had gone beyond my budget. Then my KPI, my key performance index, normally if it is less than 1, which means you are not doing fine. If it is more than 1 or 1, which means you are within budget or you have made some savings. So as you can see now, let's say if I had done say maybe 19, I'm just making some changes here for you to see how it works. If I had done 19, say maybe I did 1,900 cubic meter of concrete, as against the 2,080, I will still be making, I would have been better. I had made some savings of 509 naira, and the key performance index is good because it's slightly above 1. And where are the places I am still losing in concrete? It is 120 in material and equipment, and basically I am losing on equipment, which is a 1,000 differential from my budgeted equipment and the production equipment. Then for the proportional cost, I'm high on the proportional cost. I am high on the proportional cost. Then the general prelims, I am low. Then my profit and overhead, I am say within. So and it's coming to, so now as against my budgeted cost, which is 188, I am doing 187, and I'm making savings of overall savings of 590 naira 64 kobo. So basically, this is how you check or you determine if you are within your budgeted cost. I hope I've been able to give us an understanding on how to go about it, both in the practical example of how to go about it. And if this video have been able to throw more light to your understanding on how to approach, how to determine if you are within your budgeted cost, please leave a comment on my page. Also, share the video to your colleagues and friends. And also, if you have any concern or places that you needed me to throw more light, you can drop a comment via asking me questions on my page. I will definitely respond to you. Thank you. See you next on the next episode. Bye for now.